Hey, WFC here, and today I'm doing a video on Transformers Generations Cybertron Kingdom Deluxe Class Wingfinger. So here he is in his fossilized Pteranodon or Pterosaur or Pterodactyl mode. Who cares at this point? Now, as you can see, if you have seen this figure before, you know this isn't usually the way people display it, but this is more correct for a Pteranodon to have the wings pointing backwards like this when stood down like this. So, you know, I think this looks pretty nice. You know, you've got some rib detailing on the legs, I guess. A bit weird, but whatever. Nice bone detailing on the neck. You know, you got nice bony wings and whatever. The mouth can open. It's on a... It kind of locks shut. So you've got to kind of pry it open a little bit and then it flings down, which is a bit of a shame. There's a hinge at the neck, there's a swivel, and then there's a swivel right below that, so if you wanted to move that peg upwards you can. I prefer it pointing downwards though. The arms are on a swivel here, a hinge here, a hinge here, a hinge here, and swivel here, a hinge here, a hinge here, and a swivel here. That is a lot of swivels and hinges. And then the legs are on a hinge here, a swivel here, and a ball joint here at the foot. Now you can detach this and then also have a swivel and hinge here, but I think it's better to just keep it like that. Now you can move the wings out, of course, and have him in more of a flying mode like this, soaring around and stuff. And the way that most people position it is like this, with the wing pieces facing up. And then, you know, because of these gaps here, they usually flip them around like this. Just like that. So that is how most people display it. But I personally like to have it the other way around. Now, for size comparisons, here he is next to Earthrise Optimus. Yep. Here he is next to the other fossilizer that I own, Paleotrex, the T-Rex. Scale isn't perfect, but it's nice. And here he is with another deluxe class winged creature. We have Titan's Return Mind Wipe. Let me move the wingspan out, I guess, so you can kind of see it a little clearer. Come on. Work with me here. Just do that. There, good enough. This guy looks a lot wider, but then again, you know, this guy's got actual wings. So yeah, it kind of brings up the question on how exactly this guy would not transform, how this guy would actually fly. It doesn't really make any sense since there's no wing membrane. But hey, I think it's alright. So to transform this guy, you don't need to pull him apart into as many pieces as Paleotrex. Now, I already swapped these pieces around because this is how most people would do it. But if you have it the other way around, you are going to want to pull off these lower pieces here. So you want to pull off the head. This guy will split in two like this. Now, this hole here, only this peg can go into, which is a bit of a shame. I guess it's maybe to slim it down a bit, but I find myself sometimes wanting this to plug into things, but you can't because of, you know, reasons. Then you just want to pull out these pieces. And then that's it for pulling it apart. You just want to take these, move these down, straighten these out, and then just straighten out these pieces, and these will become the legs, like that. Nice and simple. Then you want to come to this. This will split open, these will spin round, flip out the hands, move them around like this, and same on this side. Flip this piece up, and then this will plug into here like that. And then you take this piece, make sure that's down like that, and then this will plug onto the back like this. And then these pieces will just tab onto here like this. And same on this side, like this. There we go. And there's Wingfinger in his robot mode. So here is Wingfinger in his robot mode. Now, a quick thing, I probably should have mentioned this earlier, but I've mentioned before about my lighting issues with the whole situation of my recording setup, and it really does not do this figure justice. The painting on this guy is really good, but you just can't really see it because of my lighting. If I bring it closer, it's a bit easier to see, but from back there, it doesn't really look all that good. Anyway, the actual robot mode itself whilst it looks nice, it's not fun to mess with. There's a couple issues with it that just aren't great. Like, I feel like the shoulders especially, just look a bit off. You know, like, I feel like they're a bit low. Maybe they should have something else up here. And the movement as well is kind of limited, weirdly. Like, the knees feel like they should bend this way, but not this way. It's like, you can bend them that way, but, like, it takes a bit too much force, and it kind of spreads these bits apart a little bit. And, like, this piece, that bends that way as well. So, like, you could swap the legs over and then have the knee there. Maybe do it like a chicken knee thing. But, I don't know, it just seems too high to me. So, the articulation on this guy is pretty simple. Like, I've already mentioned a little bit with the legs. Like, the head is on a limited ball joint. It can move up and down a little bit, side to side, turn around. This piece is on a hinge, so it covers his face way too easily. You can see inside there is a little bit of blue, but it's kind of obscured. The arms are on a swivel and a hinge. And there's a hinge and a swivel and a ball joint. And a lot of these swivels are, of course, bits that can come off for, well, one, transformation, and two, so it can become like weapons and whatnot for other characters. There is I guess, like a chest swivel, but like all of this is like the same, so it can basically just be a waist swivel. Hinge or swivel at the legs, hinge there, which is kind of useless, swivel and a hinge there, which is kind of weird, like I spoke about earlier. And then there's some weird hinges at the feet. Now, the weapons that this guy comes with, there are two swords that can clip on the back there. They can go in his hands. I guess they're more katanas. You can also plug them in here if you want to, but like, that's a bit weird. And you can use them both as a bow as well, which is quite cool. Have them together like this, make him a bit of an archer. You can take this off and use it as a weapon. You can fold this piece back, and it can kind of plug under there, kind of. Maybe you can open it up and plug it in. It's kind of, like, it kind of works, but for the most part, not really. You can kind of finagle it into an arrow for the bow if you want to. Now, this piece here, you might have been able to notice, looks a bit odd. You can pull it off and then pull this back and open it up. And this becomes like a head for a combined mode that you can do with the fossilizers. I've come up with two combinations that I'll probably show in a future video at some point between Paleotrex and Wingfinger. Because I don't currently have Ractonite. So, yeah, that's about it for that. So, let's do some size comparisons. Here he is next to Optimus. You can see that this guy is a pretty large deluxe. Like, he's practically Voyager sized. He's just very, very skinny. Here he is next to Paleotrex. Again, he towers over him, even though they're both deluxes. And here he is next to Mindwipe. You know, again, very tall. But, yeah, I think I've spoken about pretty much everything. You may remember in this guy's video, I spoke a little bit about my own headcanon in my own story for the fossilizers. And you may remember that this guy might not necessarily fit into that story since he is a Maximal, as you may be able to see from the symbol on his head. So the way I've kind of gotten around that is just that, I guess Cheetor just was like, yo, we need army builders, so just made some Wingfingers, and then the Predacons got their hands on them or something. So yeah, that's about it for this video, so I guess that's salut, peace, out.